This is a story right here that is as absolutely ridiculous as it sounds and looks. So, in case y'all don't know who this is CNN reporter Omar Jimenez, and he was recently arrested at the site where one of the protests occurred in Minneapolis, Minnesota for George Floyd. And as you can obviously look at him, this guy he's black. I guess you could say he's like an Afro-Latino because of that name. I think that's what he identifies as. But looking at him, that's a black man. And he was arrested by these terrorists, as you can see in the picture, just for doing his job. Now, what's interesting is he was with his crew, and like a block away was one of his co-workers by the name of Josh Campbell, who is a PC male, and they didn't even touch him. So if they was to ever ask why do you think they did it, it's pretty obvious why they did it. He's probably going to give a politically correct answer because of his job, but we know the deal. Early Friday morning, CNN correspondent Omar Jimenez, his producer and cameraman, were arrested by state terrorists, while reporting on the Minneapolis protests. Early Friday morning, CNN correspondent Omar Jimenez and his producer Bill Kirkos and photojournalist Leonel Mendez were put in handcuffs and taken into custody on live TV. Minnesota State Police officers approached the journalists during the broadcast when the team identified themselves as reporters and said they complied with where the authorities wanted them to relocate. We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment, Jimenez told the officers. We're getting out of your way, so just let us know wherever you'd want us, we will go. We were just getting out of your way when you were advancing through the intersection. Let us know and we've got you. In the footage, police did not offer a reason as to why the reporters were taken away in handcuffs one by one. CNN quickly called for the immediate release of its employees, citing a clear violation of their First Amendment rights. Speaking with CNN President Jeff Zucker, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and he said he deeply apologized for the arrests, which he said were unacceptable. On Friday morning, the news outlet reported that his crew members were released from the police custody at the Hennepin County Public Safety Facility in downtown Minneapolis. After his release, Jimenez explained the situation and said the officers were cordial after the on-camera encounter. When he asked about guidelines that his broadcast team should follow in the upcoming days of reporting, he said the officer told him, "Look, I don't know, man. I'm just following orders. As far as the people that were leading me away, there was no animosity there. They weren't violent with me. We were having a conversation about just how crazy this week has been for every single part of the city." Jimenez was on location covering the ongoing demonstrations in Minneapolis where protesters are calling for justice in the death of George Floyd, age 46, who died after being after being murdered. Let's call it what it is. And this is 4 police officers were fired in the case, which was caught on video after it went viral and sparked national outrage. Listen, we know why he was arrested. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this. And one thing I noticed is that when they were asking him why was he being arrested, he was showing his credentials, and they basically said in so many words in their own smug way that in so many words you have no right to ask us a question or we can't answer that at this time. Basically, in layman's terms, they was not going to tell the real reason as to why they was arresting him, even though we know for a fact what the reason was.